Welcome to the Empower Series Online. For those of you who are new, my name is Clifton Johnson. I'm the founder of the Empower Series Incorporated, which is a 501c3 nonprofit organization brought to you by the generous donations of Comerica Bank, AE Media Group, and you, our viewers around the world and in the USA. Welcome and thank you for watching in and tuning in. Connect with us on social media. We're on everything: LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You're on YouTube right now, so definitely you should be liking us and sharing us, because the only way people are going to find out about the Empower Series is if you share it. So definitely get us out there. Go to our website, www.empowerseries.com, if you want to find out more about what we do, how we give hope, inspiration, education, and most importantly, we connect you to the resources that's going to help you achieve your financial, your personal, and your business goals. If you want to make a donation, click the donate button, and we greatly will appreciate that. Today's topic is going to be on mindset. And mindset, what is mindset actually? And is there the right mindset to have? Well, we're going to have a conversation about having a no-limit mindset with our guest today. Our guest today is Linda Ngo, and she is the owner of No Limit Incorporated. Now, No Limit Incorporated is really a holding company for a number of different businesses that she's involved in, and there's no limit to it. But one of the things that she's very focused on is making sure that she's only collaborating with people who are positive about making a positive impact in our community. And one of the things that I'm really impressed by is her partner. God is her partner. And with her partner, there are truly no limits. So Linda, welcome to the Empower Series.
It's so funny when you write it, it sounds good, but when you said it, it sounds so much better. So thank you, Clifton, for having me here.
Oh,
I appreciate
for real.
it.
Well, one of our speakers says this all the time: if we really knew who walked beside us on our path, who our real partner was, there would be no fear. And like you said, no limits.
Right. That's, I didn't even steal that. I just thought of that on my own because my partner is God.
Yeah.
So, with him, anything and everything's possible.
Well, he knew what he was doing, right?
He did. He put my birthday on 4/11. My last name is No. My company's No Limit. And I think that just tells you that's it. Microphone dropped on that one.
We done. Well, first off, I want to give you tremendous appreciation, because with all that you're doing, I really do appreciate you taking a portion of your life and pouring into the Empower Series and really helping people really develop a mindset that's going to help them succeed.
No, it's my true pleasure.
And everybody's talking about mindset now, right? Books are all about how you think.
Yep.
So one of the things I really want to cover is a couple of things. What is mindset overall? And is there the right mindset? And if there isn't the right, how do we define the right mindset? Because it might be different for different people.
Right.
But how do you develop the mindset that's going to help you really succeed and win? So those are the things I really want to talk to you about. I think our audience will really benefit from getting to know you. Who are you?
I'm just Linda. That's it. No?
And how did you really develop and create this no limit mindset for you, even yourself?
Okay, well, first of all, I'm Linda Ngo, mother of 3. It's truly how I'm identified these days. If you ask them, I'm probably their kid or their sister, or the roles have somehow been reversed, right? But no, I am a serial entrepreneur, a serial philanthropist. I call it the mama of all mamas, because I have kids that I didn't give birth to, that I love as much as I do, my DNA kids. So I think as far as mindset is concerned and your definition, everyone will have their own unique definition of mindset, indicative of what they choose to be their purpose of their life. Some people was born knowing what they want to be when they grow up or as sound age, and some people are forced into a certain purpose based on trials and tribulations. So there's never a wrong or right mindset in a sense when it comes to living. The only wrong mindset is if you think murdering and killing and all the yucky stuff of the world is an okay thing to do. But at the end of the day, even with those people who choose to do bad, somewhere in their mindset is mental behavior, and it's either mental illness or somewhere in their mindset, it's approved, or it's a form of acceptance.
Yeah.
It's a form of some type of coping mechanism, or it's just something that feeds whatever their moment is. So mindset is extremely broad, and it just kind of depends on where you want to go in life. Depicts on how you are going to identify the term for mindset.
Yeah, you're right. I guess mindset is a very broad topic. There's a book out that talks about a growth mindset
Mm-hmm.
and fixed mindset, and the way the author defines it is that if you have a fixed mindset, you're really not really that flexible, and you're thinking that the things that happen to you kind of define who you are, and in your current experience, if it's not positive, can't be positive, like it can't change. So if you take a test and let's say you don't do well in it,
Yeah.
you feel like that test defines you as being not smart. Whereas a growth mindset, there's growth, right? You take a test and you don't do well, you don't look at that as defining who you are,
Right.
but you say, okay, that just reflects my effort today. But if I work hard, if I study, I can do better.
Right.
So you have this growth mindset. And it's probably safe to say that your mindset's going to change over
Daily.
time, right?
No, daily.
Minute by minute,
no,
right?
minute by minute, day by day, you know. And I think that's the fun part of living, you know, is to have as many wrongs as you have rights, because as many wrongs as you have, you're going to have just as much, if not more rights.
Right.
Because until you hit that brick wall, you won't know what it feels like. And sometimes you just got to know what it feels like in order to know how to avoid it next time. And, you know, that's where our mindset is our key to success. If you sit here and you say you don't like tomatoes and you've never tried it, how would you know if you like it or you don't?
Yeah.
So you can try it in so many formats and still hate it. But give me a fried green tomato with some sauce on it. It's a whole nother mindset.
Right,
I'm liking this tomato now. So again, until you try it, like honestly, don't knock it till you try it. It's such a powerful to-do action phrase. Because again, whether it be professional or personal relationships, you don't know what you like until you know you like it. You don't know what you don't like until you know you don't like it.
Right.
You
right.
only know what you know. And the only way to know more is to ask more, to mistake more.
Right.
And from there, you can learn more.
Yeah, and so you talk about mistakes. So some people might have a mindset that they want to avoid mistakes. Or, you know, when you have a baby, I'm sure when being a mother, there were a time where you didn't want your boys to like hurt themselves or hurt themselves too badly.
Yeah.
Because we know intellectually that they learn from failure, but every now and then you might want to catch them. At least I know with my daughter and my son, I did that.
Yeah.
So the point I'm making is that your mindset is elastic.
Yeah.
It changes. And there might be some times where you have the mindset that's not that effective for getting the results that you want. And then you can have a mindset that's more effective. But one thing, we don't want people to think that there is a right mindset and then there's a wrong mindset. You know, we all have had different mindsets. We learn from everything. Yeah. Right. And so I do want to get a little bit of your background about, tell us about a time where you've learned and you've developed a mindset that was you had a mindset that wasn't that effective, helping you getting the results that you wanted, but then you grew and you kind of changed it. You had to change to get a better result.
Okay, so let's just give a long but short story.
Okay.
So my dad shot and killed my mother when I was 3. So with just that, I grew up in a foster style, just within the family DNA. So I'd live with one family until they were either tired of me or whatever it was. Boom, next family. Sometimes a few months, sometimes a few years, no rhyme or reason. Right. So the instability was already something I learned. And then I grew up to having lots of headaches with my family. They wanted to sue me. My mother left me a small little inheritance that they wanted to fight me at the age of 17 or 18 because they said that I should reimburse them for my mother's death because they paid for it. I mean, it's just the craziest things. And a lot of things happen, from another family member sexually harassing me to, you know, just constantly having so much trauma and the love and trust thing not being there. I grew up not knowing what love was or is. So as an adult, I've learned to create my own definition of love. But the one biggest thing is, as a single mother, I've had to learn how to be a mom. And at one point in their lives and my life, I said, you know what, guys, for Mother's Day, I'm taking you to your real grandmother's grave. And I told them the story. And I said, now look. So obviously I didn't have a mom, so I don't know how to be a mom. Didn't have anybody to mimic. So you guys have never been anyone's kids before. So we're going to figure this thing out together. And in doing so, there has been a lot of ups and downs and everything in between. But I'll never forget something as recent as being pretty much homeless based on a relationship that went wrong. And, now I have a relationship with my dad. I've always made sure he's good, so I've forgiven him. But when I asked him for help, and he said, I've already helped you a couple of times. I'm like, well, hell, I've helped you a whole lot of times. I didn't know help ran out. But I was holding on to an entitlement card. You shot and killed my mother. I'm entitled for your help for life, right? But when he basically turned me no and he was in a position to help, that's when my mindset was even more tweaked and said, nobody owes you anything. So somebody as serious as a father who shot and killed mom at the age of 3, who had my life completely turned upside down, who's caused me to have all this, owes me nothing. And once that hit, I was like, okay, you know what? We always say God is with us. And that's fact and true. However, as our flesh, we want to physically have somebody tangible, right? And God is like, God. So it just hurt that bad to say somebody who is tangible, who can truly help me, chose not to. Just because. There was no rhyme or reason or anything other than, oh, I've helped you a couple times. I'm like, well, hell, if that's the case, let me give you my list of how many times I've helped. But that was the ultimate icing on the cake that says, you know what, nobody owes you anything no matter what. And it is completely up to you to go get what you want, period. DNA doesn't mean a damn thing. So that's why a lot of people who have reached out to me will say family this and family that. I'm like, look, if you can't benefit from sharing the same DNA, be okay with it and treat them as accordingly, right? Yeah. But the folks that you can choose to be your family are so much more special. So now without a mom, I have like 2 or 3 out there in this world. Without sisters, I have tons and tons of sisters. So I'm like, hey, sis. Yeah. So to me, that's a lot more special. And that's me and God choosing, I would say at that point. So to me, don't let any piece of you feel like you're entitled to anything other than your own efforts.
Okay. So a couple of things. Number one is my condolences for the loss of your mom.
Hey, I'm 40, so.
I got you, but I got to say that. And,
I appreciate that.
And, and I want to thank you for sharing and being transparent and sharing your story, because I think that there's a lot of people out there that can relate to that in one way or another. And if you being bold enough to share that, lets them know that they're not alone.
For sure.
Right. And then for them,
so they got God and me.
Word. And for them to see you still thriving and succeeding is also giving them hope. What I want to say, though, is that, I read somewhere that they say if you have a childhood that's full of trauma and challenges, and you have somebody else who doesn't have those type of challenges and traumas, what was found is that as they become adults, usually the person that's had those traumas and challenges are stronger.
For sure.
Because when they run into things that are obstacles or adversities in life, they have the strength to work through them or to shift their mindset and to see something positive out of something that's happened that's negative. Whereas someone who's had it relatively easier, who didn't build those type of strengths or that type of
they freak out over any little thing.
They have a mindset of entitlement, right? And they have a harder time. So whatever people are going through, that is their journey. And every step of the journey is not always an easy one.
Right.
But those hard ones are the ones that you really learn. And if you are able to be open and have a growth mindset, you can learn something from it, and it can help you in the future be more successful. Sure. So thank you again for sharing that.
No, it's my pleasure.
So that experience has helped you create a mindset of not entitlement.
Right.
Expanding your sense of family. Right, it's more than just blood. So there's another person who spoke at our series that talks about the value of relationships.
For sure.
And he says that, what is a relationship? A relationship, when someone comes into your life, they do one of either four things. They either add, subtract, divide, and multiply. And why do you want to spend time with people who are taking from your life, you're taking from theirs, and from that comes division. So you can choose to pour into somebody's life, they pour into yours, and through that comes blessings of many other people's lives.
For sure.
And he says the reason why God gives you friends is, his what did he? I can't even say it, but it's like that's his joke, right? Because you need friends. You can't pick your family, but you can pick your friends. Sure. So that's his solution to family that doesn't act right.
Giving you choices and the power of choices.
Yeah.
So that's why I want to remind people the power to choose is one of the best powers that God could give you. If you wake up and just know that you have that choice to create a great day or not so great day.
Yeah.
And it's small things such as words, picking and choosing your words, even when joking. And I used to be this biggest jokester, and my kids and I would have a great time. And then when you start learning the power of the tongue and the power of words and all that good stuff, I'm like, all right, boys, let's not joke like that. We're not even going to joke like that, Right. And so you try to change words because words change mindset. So you always, and that's why when I go around, I thank people for wanting to get to know me. And that is always my ask. Please get to know someone. Ask questions, because I could easily say, well, I heard Clifton is just a bunch of baloney, and so I'm not going to go do his show. Yeah. And so blah, blah, blah. It becomes a blessing blocker. And to me, let me learn Clifton for myself. Let me figure out what's adding, multiplying, subtracting, or dividing for myself, because ultimately you might have said no and rejected somebody, and now they're out here bad-mouthing you. And that's what happens in our life, is that we prayed to God last night, this morning, woke up this morning, asked the universe to manifest something, and then God and the universe sends you that blessing in the form of a Clifton or a Linda or an Edward, and then you're like, ew.
Right.
And there goes your blessing.
We're blocking it. Right?
Yeah.
We're blocking it, yeah.
And it works both ways. Don't ask for God for anything, and then somebody's trying to do something for you, and you're like, it's okay, thanks. So now you're blocking the blessing of them trying to bless you. So it's just a whole lot of mental things, and that was something I had to learn. As a kid growing up, my grandmother became the consistent piece of my life. Asian culture is, don't let anybody do anything or hold anything over your head. If you can't get it yourself, don't want it, don't get it, or figure it out.
Right.
And so when it comes to gift giving or somebody doing a favor or when you need help, it is so hard for me to ask for help because my grandma's like, figure it out, And so as a 40-year-old woman now who's learning her own walks in the world of blessing and manifesting, I said, squash all that. Love your grandma, rest her soul, but it's our decision. It's our choice. And I hate hearing when people blame their childhood or their upbringing for the current decisions they make today. Because as you've heard, with my dad shooting and killing my mother and me not knowing what love is at the age of 3, not knowing who's right and who's wrong for Linda, I could easily be a prostitute on drugs and alcohol at this point. Yeah, yes. And in my mindset would be completely justified saying, because my dad shot and killed my mom when I was 3 and I had no home and no love and no brothers and no sisters, I'm choosing to be a prostitute. I'm choosing to be a druggie. I'm choosing to be an unfit mother. And in my mindset, like we talked earlier, that could be completely right, okay, and justified.
Right.
But I chose the complete opposite. I chose to find acceptance and validations. Now, upbringing, I chose in certain areas that could have been like, ooh.
Yeah.
But, I leaned on my teachers. I learned how to get straight A's, or I chose to get straight A's, and I chose to join every extracurricular activity just to get you did good, because I wasn't getting it at home.
Right.
So there's a lot of different moments in your life that are pivotal moments that if you would just now learn how to meditate and take inventory of your daily days, right? then you know how to start your next morning or finish your evening. I never say wait, because you don't know if you'll see tomorrow. So let's figure out what we're doing the next second.
Gotcha.
Not tomorrow, not tonight. Let's in the next second. What are we doing? Because you never know. So it's all about mind and perspective.
So Linda, you shared so much. When you look at this, the mindset that you had to survive as a child, I just look at that as being, you had to survive.
Yeah.
Realizing that you can't be entitled to the things that you would really want, and you have to depend on yourself.
Right.
But then when you got older, it seems like that doesn't always help you receive some blessings. Sometimes.
Oh, it's still a hot mess every day.
Being open to blessings, right?
Yeah.
And the other thing you said that was impactful is the choice that we make in the morning. Another speaker, Michael Collier, said, the minute we wake up, we've already won. Mm-hmm. So having that as a mindset, we're up. There's so many people who wanted to wake up, that didn't wake up, have plans, right. They're not happening. So the fact that we are breathing is a sense of gratitude and a blessing. And then now we can choose. We can choose the words, we choose the attitude, and really start the day off right. So those are all good things to really be mindful of when we talk about mindset. Because there's some people who wake up and they don't have a good attitude.
Right.
Are you a coffee drinker?
I am.
So do you need your coffee before you get
No, I'm just Linda however, but I want my coffee. Sometimes I'm like, and it's funny because it's just the taste. Like I won't even finish the whole cup or the glass. It's just a couple sips and I'm like, okay.
So one of the things in the morning, even at night, I just have an idea. So sometimes Tyler will be up, mm-hmm. and I'm going, hey, Tyler, I'm asking him these hard questions. And he goes, whoa. I haven't had my coffee yet. It's too early. It's too early.
At nighttime?
No, it happens at night, too. I'll go like, hey, I got this idea. He said, wait, it's too late.
Where's my wine glass now?
So it's just either way. I just want to know if you were a coffee drinker, if you feel like you have to have your coffee.
No, I don't have to have it. Obviously, there's been moments in diets that wouldn't allow my coffee. So for a good period of my 14 days to 15 days, J-Lo and A-Rod, when they were a couple, mm-hmm. were not my friends anymore in my head because they did the no carb, no sugar challenge, right. which X'd out my Starbucks and everything else that was a part of my life. But it was great. It was fun to be able to do. And that's why I love challenges. And that's what life is full of. And so you can either look at it as a tough obstacle or a fun obstacle. Mm-hmm. And like you said, people only see the end result, which is the success and or the failure. But if you can truly trust God, which is, I'm not here to say everybody has one, but whatever their worship leader is, whether it be God, whether we title it the universe, if you truly trust the source, then trust yourself enough to trust the process and enjoy it. Because at the end of the day, that's where all of your ups and downs and the colorful shades of life happens. The success is so temporary. Yeah. Sometimes you hit that jackpot, you're celebrating that you're a millionaire, but tomorrow you're broke because you didn't even understand what just happened. Because there's so many, and same thing with athletes. There's so many athletes that we see now on 30 for 30 mm-hmm. because they weren't taught the value. They were just freakish, talented, athletic human beings who trusted the wrong people who made the wrong financial decisions for them. Yeah. And so that's why I think you and I have talked about building relationships. Mm-hmm. I would rather build relationships and the rest will come. That saying, build a house and they'll come. It's building relationships and everything else will align, whether it be financial opportunities or whatever other opportunities you're looking for. Mm-hmm. So long as I'm genuinely building this relationship, everything else will align. And you focus on enjoying each other, each moment, whether it be with your kids, whether it be with your friends, whether it be with your Starbucks. And that's what I actually taught one time. And I said, if you ever have one of those moments where you're just like angry at the world and you're frustrated, think of something that makes you happy. Mm-hmm. Whether it be something that the kids did, the dog just did, a show you watched, or something. For me, for the longest, it was just Starbucks. I don't know what it is. I was just recently in Branson, Missouri this week. And I was like, hey, and I wasn't even in a bad mood, right? I was already in a good mood. I'm like, hey, can we stop for Starbucks? So everybody in the car wanted Starbucks. And I'm like, see, we're all happy because we had Starbucks. You know, it's just a thing. And if we can just get our mindset just to be happy and be grateful and be in that gratitude space, then you don't have room for all the yucks of the world. And you pick and choose your words.
So you make a good point about having a positive mindset and doing whatever it takes to be positive, right? As long as it's not hurting anybody else.
Turn on your favorite song and think you're the singer. Just don't sing if there's anybody in the car that really doesn't think you can sing.
Right.
Because then they'll be like, look, you can't sing, and then they'll make you all mad again. But
So I'm curious, because you're also a consultant, right? And so imagine that you have a client in front of you, and you have to take them through a process of self-awareness, that their biggest challenge is not the things that are happening outside of them, but it's really their mindset. How would have you had a client like that where you've had to focus on, okay, we need to improve your mindset?
I have. And everything is about delivery. If you are who you say you are, we're consulting, and my expertise is XYZ, then I'm going to know how to approach that client. Everything is about delivery. And I even talked to my son about that today. You can tell me no in so many ways. And I can take a no so gracefully, or I can take a no angrily, you know, depending on how you deliver it. So when it comes to consulting or like I said, relationships, first of all, I won't take on just any clients. I have to like them just as much as they like me. And we're going to have a little water date for me to figure that out.
Right.
Because not all money is good money. So not everybody who wants to be a client is, and I won't be their cup of tea either. So at the end of the day, it's more so knowing and picking and choosing who your clientele is. So if you chose me, right, and you've gotten to know me over the phones and our Zooms, and so I'm like, Clifton, look, I don't do scripts. We're shooting everything from the gut here. You chose to bring me on to this series. Whereas that's how it works when it comes to me picking my clientele. If I'm going to choose you, then I'm going to trust you. So if I say, Clifton, your mindset's a little foggy today, let's figure out what's up. Let's talk. But I have a special delivery and patience in order to really truly understand who you are, because that's where that relationship building came in.
Okay.
And so to me, it all ties in. You asked me earlier, how do I do all of this? And it's just a matter of aligning. So I won't tell you yes if I know I can't really fully commit to your yes or my yes. It has to be reciprocated. So it's about feeling each other's energy. It's about truly building and really learning each other. So I can be like, I can joke with you this way, Clifton, but I can't joke over this way. It's about really knowing your clientele. Okay. It's business and professional. It's about knowing who's in your circle and who's in your space. And then you know how to deliver. So it's easy to tell your clients that. If they're my clients, I chose them for a reason. They chose me for a reason. So they know whatever comes out of my mouth is definitely not hurtful. And it's not for my personal gain.
Okay. So let's assume now that the Empower Cities community is our client.
Okay.
So we have a rapport, right? They're listening to us. We may not know them particularly, but we can say generally we're in alignment. And I want to give them some steps that they can do. Maybe it's 3-5 things that we can do, or they can do, you know, we can all do, that can help us really develop a mindset that will help us grow and achieve some of the things that we want to achieve in life, and not have so many What would they be? The
two main things is meditation.
Okay.
Because you've got to quiet the noise. Don't let the word meditate scare you or intimidate you. Meditate is not so you can be quiet so you can hear God. I get that that's what some people do.
That might happen, right?
Right? If God decides to come in while everything's quiet, that's on him. But what I'm seeing is you quiet the noise of everything outside of you. Because sometimes as humans, it's so easy to let his opinion or her opinion affect what our decisions and our choices will be. And sometimes you just got to go somewhere, strip the fluff, is what I call it. Strip the noise, strip the fluff. Do you. Take inventory for your table. See who's invited and what they brought.
Okay.
And like you said, if they're taking and they're not reciprocating, excuse them from that table.
Okay, so I like that. So meditation is one. And one thing is that in the bottom of this video, in the description, are going to be links. Okay. Links to resources to help you meditate if you don't know how to do it. If you don't know how to do it, you can Google it. And there are all kinds of steps on how
There's
to meditate.
all types of methods.
But one of the things I want to bring to mind is that one of the challenges for people who say, I just can't meditate because my mind is going all over the place. I was listening to or watching something on YouTube, and the gentleman took a minute, and he was in a large audience. He took a group through a 1-minute meditation of just quieting down and focusing on a thought. And he stepped them through that, like a calm voice, and everything. And then when he brought them back, he asked how many of them had multiple thoughts go through their mind. And almost everybody did.
I'm gonna put like 2 hands up.
Yeah. And so what's really cool about this that I related to, he said, so when you had that thought, what did you do? Some people got really negative or whatever, but he said, but then did you bring your mind back to the one thought that I asked you to focus on? And they said yes. And so he said, you need to look at that as if you're working out. And if you're doing curls or bench press, you do like 10 reps. He says, every time you have a thought and you bring it back to a thought that you want to focus on, that's like a rep for the mind. And you're developing muscle for the mind. So don't be so upset if you have multiple thoughts going through your mind. Just look at every time you're putting that focus on one thought, you're strengthening the muscle of your mind to be able to focus more. And that really resonated with me.
For folks who get intimidated and say, I can't shut the noise, that's where vision boards come in. Okay. And that's another form of manifestation as well as meditation without having to be so, yoga, right? And at the end of the day, I'll tell people, if you can't quiet the noise yourself, do yourself a favor, grab your pen and paper or your phone, whichever way is going to be in your face. And usually nowadays it's all of our phones. So get to your little notepad and just give me 10 things you're grateful for. When you're in that moment of yuck, give me 10 things that you're grateful for, because the 10 things that you're grateful for will probably take a little over 7 seconds to think about and write down. So within the 7 seconds that your mind is thinking of something that you're grateful for, and then you're reading it. And then if you spit it out in 5 seconds, now read it for the next minute. I'm thankful for this. I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for this. Then it kind of gets your mind, muscle memory, back into that gratitude state. And then you're like, okay, this is why I did it. And a lot of entrepreneurs were like, what the hell did I get myself into? Let me go get my 9 to 5 back, because this is just too much. But if you have your list or your Post-it notes for women, if we go into the bathroom mirrors, a yellow sticky that says, you're beautiful, boom, you're smart, or this is your kids, or whatever it is. Like I have all my kids on my mirrors. And so those are my whys. I wake up to my affirmations and my children. Okay. Every time I'm going to wash my face or brush my teeth, every time I'm walking into my bathroom, I see my kids, which are my whys, and my affirmations. And so you can take a picture of that, and that way it'll be in your phone every day. Do something for yourself that you have quick access to. Okay. So that way when you find yourself in a moment that you're just like, yuck, 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 flip to your phone or flip to wherever your positive vision board is. Right. Because your mind is visual.
Right. Images, right?
So we want to see, that's why Instagram is so great. That's why it surpassed Facebook, because everybody's a visual minded type of person. So if you can see your whys and see your affirmations, then it makes your mind and your tongue and all of that align, because you can't just speak.
So you mentioned 5 things now, and I like the fact because they're all combined.
Yeah.
So number 1 is meditation, right? So meditation is one. Then you said vision board. And so vision board is very important because we think in images. And so if you put on the vision board those things, and it can be pictures or it can be phrases, your affirmations, picture of your children. So vision board is the second thing.
Right.
And then the third thing you talked about is gratitude. It's just writing down the things that you're grateful for. And that could be a routine, and reading that on a regular basis, having gratitude. The fourth thing you talked about were affirmations, which is another thing about gratitude. So speak into your word, like manifest what you want through words. Yeah. So affirmations, can you share some of your affirmations?
I'm strong. I'm intelligent. I'm smart. I'm loved. I'm lovable. I'm loving. I'm intelligent. And that's kind of like the best things to say, right? Because, and then I end it with, I'm enough.
Wow.
So
I'm deserving, right?
Yeah, you can have all of these. I don't say deserving much because I feel like we're enough, right? Deserving sounds like I got to earn something.
Okay, I like that.
Right? So sometimes it could be a positive and a negative connotation. So I leave certain words out, just like when you're appreciative or when you're thankful or when you're grateful. You know, those have all positive connotations. But at the end of the day, if you strip it, it's like, well, why am I thankful? I should already be. You know, like there's certain things that you had to earn per se. And to me, it just depends on who you're earning it from, God, or if it's from human beings. So if it's a God thing, then I'm appreciative, I'm thankful, I'm gratitude. But if it's from a human person, partner, I'm like, you know, like, thanks, but no thanks, you know. So it's one of those stripping it down to simplicities.
Okay, so meditation, vision board, gratitude, affirmations, and then you said why, like knowing your why, which is it's a process. Like some people, they don't take the time to figure that out. So how would you guide somebody to figure out what their why is? How do they
What
get
is
to that?
something you can't live without? What is the most tragic thing that has happened to you? And within those two questions within self, hopefully 99.99% of us can figure out what our why is. And a lot of it is our children. Yeah. They didn't ask to be here. They didn't ask to be your stress. You did that. So it's your responsibility. Own up to what you've done, what you've created, and be okay with it and then enjoy it. So it's really a lot of it's the children, and a lot of it is your most traumatic thing that has happened, because now you're trying to be competitive within self and never letting that ever repeat itself. Okay. So your survival, the reasons why you survived it, is typically another why. So you got 5 steps. Anything else you would add to that? I mean, there's always a lot of stuff, but they're going to just have to keep coming back from there. There you go. So you're not going to give them everything right now. No, I can't do that. I want to add two. I want to add 2 things then, right? Make it 7. Yeah. Right. So and a lot of this is interchangeable. For sure. Right? We talked about on your vision board, you can put things you're grateful for. You can put your affirmations. You should put a whole mush pit of all of that. Right. So the other 2 things is journaling. Right? So journaling is another process. And these are habits to where even I can do a better job of journaling. Yeah. But just writing down your thoughts and writing down what you're grateful for. What did you learn today? You know, how did you spend time today that was happy? Yeah. And things, or what do you want to do next? And manifesting things, all kind of things. But journaling is really good because it can help you think through certain questions. And it's your friend that doesn't talk back. Exactly, right? Yeah. And you can keep that to yourself. You don't have to share that with other people. Then the other thing I would add is having some type of routine. When I look at anything I've accomplished in life, it just didn't happen by, oops, I just didn't trip over it. Right? I did. Well, sometimes that might happen, but then it may not have been repeatable for me. Yeah. And so the things I got in life, I usually followed a routine. If you look at how I got through school, you know, normally you woke up in the morning, you went to school, you followed the curriculum, and then you graduated. Yeah. Or if, you know, for me, I got a scholarship to play football. Same thing with practicing. You know, your son plays basketball. Yeah. You know, anybody who's great has a routine that they go through, and that routine helps them hone their skill sets. And so I would say have a routine in the morning, have a routine at night. A way of thinking is a routine. And I think those are good things to add to this. So if a routine is structured around meditation, vision boarding, you know, making a list of what you're grateful for, your why, and then just writing down your thoughts, and that's a routine that you make time for, I think that would help too. So what are some of the routines that you have? I would say also, to add to your routine, be flexible. That's a good part of my routine is learn how to pivot. Because look at, like you said, the school kids, right? Look what happened this past year, 2019 COVID. Wow. So they had to go from their daily routine of school bells to your laptop. So it's to be able to be okay with adjustments and change. And I think, you know, that would be another series for you, is accepting change. Not all change is bad. Not all change is good, but the process is where you choose to have fun, you know? And like I said, it's just a mindset. Choose to see that the glass is half full and never empty. So, you know, part of my routine is just no routines, to be honest with you. It's beside, you know, some days I wash my face, makeup off, which was a routine I was stressing about because I was like, I want to have that flawless face. But there are some nights where I'm so exhausted. I'm like, I don't even know how. And I don't ask questions, and I'm okay with that. So I think if you can be in the habit of being okay with not having everything perfect and flawless and just knowing that everything's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Life is about yeses and nos. You get a yes, you're going to get a no. If you get a no, you're going to find a yes. And it's all about perspective. So if your routine can just staying grateful and staying happy and staying just to the point where you know how to strip that negative bullet coming your way.
Yeah.
You know, one thing I want to leave for our children and even adults before I go is strip away the potential tension. I love children. So you'll find me in a lot of schools talking to kids and hugging on babies. But a lot of them are having bullying issues, right? So a lot of kids now in high school and even as adults, you get a cuss word thrown at you and then you want to see a fist fly, right? Yeah. A lot of the B words and all these other words. But if you strip that, right? You call me the B word, my world, that's a female dog. I have the most best German Shepherd at home that's a female dog. So to me, when you call me that, I don't understand the insult. So it's hard for me to be insulted. And if we can train our minds, however you need to strip the insults, then you'll never be insulted. Okay. And I think if you can keep yourself from being insulted, you can keep yourself focused on your own whys and your goals. And you won't let outside interference distract you.
That's a good point. So I like what you're saying. Being in flow and being focused on what's important to you and not letting negativity in, not letting insults in. When people are angry, it's not about you. You just happen to be present when they're not in
wrong place, wrong time. Right.
And I gotta say something. I should have done some more research on this. We'll do a program on CBI.
Okay.
It's a technology that this founder actually sold or gave to a university, and it allows people who are paraplegic to move using prosthetics with their mind.
Oh, neat. Mm-hmm.
It's a device that is put inside the brain. And it measures something in the brain that allows people to write on computers, speak, and it's a technology that is phenomenal. I'm thinking about him because he talked about glass half full and half empty, and he said that it's neither. The glass is always full. It's half H2O and then the rest is air.
Oh, exactly.
And so I was just amazed by listening to him because I'm thinking, what kind of gentleman would figure out what you can put in the mind to really help people do things that is probably perceived as being impossible. There's so much possibility when you look at our mind and the power of our mind to where we can actually put something in a person's mind and program it to allow them to do things just by thinking. That is so amazing to me.
And to strip that, you know, I like to strip things apparently. It's energy.
Yes.
So, yes, we are used to machines and technology. But at the end of the day, the only thing that runs those technology is energy. So I always, and you've seen on all of my social media, it's always protecting your energy. Because at the end of the day, that's what creates your brain waves, which is what that computer chip or whatever that device is they're putting in is reading. They're reading your brain waves, which is energy. It's a form of energy. So you can sit here, and that's why there's things called Tai Chi. There's certain things that you can heal with your hands because it's all about energy, which is another mind focus, mind perspective, manifestation, energy. It all aligns. And so that's why I'm extremely protective over my energy, because when you're giving out hugs, when you're giving out your energy, it does take. And sometimes you do need to kind of refill and recharge. But at the end of the day, if you can understand the pure essence of energy, you'll understand the power within you.
Yeah, and there's truly no limits.
There is no limit. That is my limit, is to have no limits.
How do people stay in touch with you? Because it's, they can't get enough, right? So they want more. How do they get more of you?
Facebook.
Okay.
Well, for the most part, they can Linda, LINDANGO.
Okay.
Or LinkedIn, Linda Ngo, or ngolimitinc@gmail.com is my email.
All right.
I'm not brave enough to give out a phone number yet,
Gotcha.
y'all.
But all of those links are going to be down below in the description. Yeah. And then definitely.
Because they can hit me on Messenger, and that's just as good as having my phone, right?
Most def.
So
Most
definitely. But yeah, if there ever a need to kind of help with perspective, I'm there.
Well, I'll tell you, we're in flow, and I love this energy, and I really don't want it to stop. But, we got to cut it off at some point.
One of these days.
To continue later.
For sure.
With that being said, what are some of the things that you want to make sure that our Empower Series community walks away with? What are some of your closing comments?
Do yourself and all of ourselves a favor by getting to know somebody. Yeah. Give yourself the blessing of time and patience. Learn someone for yourself. No matter what. No matter what the news have said about someone, no matter what your best friend has said about someone, or your DNAs have said about someone, learn for yourself, because you never know where God and the universe hides your blessings and delivers your blessings through.
I like that. So your blessing is right next to you. One of the gentlemen said that we don't make our dreams come true. Other people do.
You can't do it by yourself.
That's right. So I want to thank you. Thank you for making my dream come true, right? And being a part of being part of the Empower Series. Definitely don't keep this to yourself. Please share it. There's somebody in your circle that can be blessed by hearing this message and by connecting with Linda Ngo.
I'm goofy, y'all. just be prepared to laugh. I can't stay serious for too long.
Right.
Because I have to.
And learning that there are truly no limits whatsoever.
No.
Energy does not die. So again, stay connected with us. Look at our programs. Like us, share us, add comments. Yeah, love us. Give us all this energy. And until we meet again, be empowered and inspired to thrive. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching our Empower Series YouTube video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Remember to hit the subscribe button below, as well as the little button to be notified the next time we upload our video. Until then, stay connected with us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever your social media flavor is. Inspire the world to thrive. See you soon.